This is the first, I think, of a few different villain stories as far as creating a villain and learning how to use it effectively in your games. That way your players are very engaged with your story. Making a full-fledged story relies on a good antagonist. Your players are the protagonist, you are the antagonist. Or sometimes the antagonist isn't really a person or a villain, but maybe a natural disaster. We'll explore those options in a little bit. But today I want to talk about a character that I have already made. I want to use examples of characters that I have made, and hey, you guys can use them too if you really want to. Or maybe I'll make a block or two. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it. But I wanted to start with a villain that I'm currently using, and it's at its climax pretty much with our Planescape campaign. But I wanted to give you an example of Revolution. Revolution was an inevitable. An inevitable is a creature or a metallic creature that was created by Mistral herself and presented in mechanics as far as they're like timekeepers of sorts. So sometimes if the players or one of your players at your table is meddling with time and existence itself, sometimes you can involve an inevitable to potentially right that wrong, either by trying to figure out how to reverse the timeline by interacting with the players, or by eliminating them. It's up to you how you decide to DM. But Revolution was one of these inevitables, and in that sense, he had interacted with one of my former parties called the Sky Orphans. The Sky Orphans found him annoying, mostly because by design, they are annoying creatures. They are lawful. They sprout the laws of time and law and existence itself. And even though Revolution was trying to be helpful to them and see if they can figure out the situation, all he got was bad feedback. And this was one of his first interactions with humankind. And it led him to spiral trying to understand why they would reject such obvious things. I don't understand. Why don't you get what I'm trying to tell you? I'm just trying to help. I'm not trying to harm. I'm trying to help. You're just refusing my help. The Sky Orphans treated Revolution terribly. And in that sense, he started to go down a rabbit hole of what is existence itself? What's the purpose? What is humankind? Leading an intelligent creature to go mad, and mad with power. Revolution basically becomes an intelligent madman, and in that process, he starts to wonder exactly what his purpose on this planet, this universe is. Every memorable story has a great villain, but what makes a villain not just good but unforgettable? You start with their past. Revolution was a modron, a being of order, cast out and forsaken, his identity shattered. And when he was seeking for identity, with maybe becoming just like anybody else, a hero, understanding, he was spat upon. An origin story shapes your villain's worldview. It gives them depth and makes them relatable. Motivation is the heart of action. Revolution seeks to reshape the multiverse itself, driven by revenge and a desire to prove the flaws in reality's fabric. Humankind, what's the point? I don't understand it. A villain's goals must challenge the protagonist and shape the foundation of their world. Revolution created the copied realm, a realm reflecting his twisted vision. His reach should extend beyond mere presence, altering the world and forcing heroes to react. Show not just what they do, but also the impact that they have. Development is key. Even villains change. Revolution began as a mere functionary and grew into a force that could unravel the cosmos. Your villain should evolve with the story, becoming more formidable and complex. Background, motivation, influence, and development. Craft these well, and your villain, like Revolution, will be one players talk about for years to come. Craft your villain, shape your story. Now, with Revolution myself, I created a scenario where the universe was running off of a time system, and I use puns, jokes in order to get my players to understand and have fun with the game. I typically find silly humor to impact stories a lot better because our brains remember funny, fun, silly stuff. So I use the Chrono Cross, which is a play on the video game series Chrono Trigger and the Chrono Cross. So they need you to grab the crystal pieces for the Chrono Trigger for the Chrono Cross. So it led to some funny dialogue back there between my players here and there about this Chrono thing and trying to figure out exactly what they needed to do. Have fun with it. I mean, if your players are laughing and giggling and enjoying the game while taking it seriously, you have a mixed balance of human emotion and storytelling. So what Revolution did was he found this Chrono Cross and he destroyed it and absorbed its powers, absorbed the energy that came within the crystal, and it made him into something different, something uncontrollable, something that can shape the fabric of reality itself. And he scattered those pieces all across the universe, and my players had to go to different worlds, including Faerun, and a multitude of our custom worlds that we have already played in, meeting former villains, former allies, and gathering the strength of the Hands of Havoc, an organization that I've used in order to kind of have a group that's focused on the goal at hand. They're at the conclusion when it comes to Revolution, but hopefully you can understand exactly what we're trying to do here. I'm going to continuously start to make these villains, start to make different stories for you guys, shaping and understanding villains on the spot, and using villains from my past, villains that we've used, and even ones that did not go so well, in order for you to understand how to craft a villain the right way. And what you'll learn if you continuously watch this series is the one rule that I run by personally, is that as long as the villain is interacting with your story, the rest can be filled in later. See you soon.